Here we go. Man, the saga is crazy out here in Russia. Okay, so the whole world is reacting to Wagner boss being taken out. It's been confirmed by Putin, been confirmed by the Kremlin. First in charge and second in charge of Wagner is taken out. Now, in this live stream video, we're going to be looking at the reactions of the leader of Belarus. I think it's very telling, and I think he sort of hinted that, bruh, I told you to be careful, man. You got to be careful if you're going to be out on Telegram screaming at people, yelling at the heads of the Russian military. Hello, everybody, if you're joining just now. Something else I find interesting is that the potential for possibly Wagner fighters to maybe switch over to the Ukrainian side. Possibly. There is a call for it, so we're going to also look at that. So let's go ahead and see what the Kremlin is saying in this video. They're saying everything. Let me make this smaller for you. Maybe go on this side. Kremlin calls the accusations that it took out Prigozhin an absolute lie. I repeat, they're calling it an absolute lie. Of course they're going to say it's a lie. No one would ever say it's true. So let's go ahead and see exactly what's happening over there. The Kremlin said that Western suggestions Russian mercenary boss Yevgeny Prigozhin has been taken out on its orders were an absolute lie, while declining to definitively confirm his death, citing the need to wait for the test results. We need the test results. Russia's aviation authority has said that Prigozhin, head of Wagner mercenary group, was on board a private jet which crashed Wednesday evening. We know that part. Okay, so again, understand that Putin has publicly gone out and said, look, condolences to his family, but now they're saying we need to wait for the test to make sure this is all legit. Come on, bro. What are you talking about, homie? Putin, again, cited preliminary information as indicating that Prigozhin and his top associates in the Wagner mercenary group have all been taken out. Again, so Putin is the Kremlin. Putin did come out and say this did happen. So understand this, that there is an acknowledgement from Putin, not from the government, though, that Prigozhin was taken out. However, the Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, said the accusations and many others like it were false. There is now a great deal of speculation surrounding this plane crash and the tragic deaths of the plane's passengers, including Yevgeny Prigozhin. Of course, in the West, all the speculation is presented from a well-known angle. And obviously, he's being sarcastic. All of this is an absolute lie. And here, when covering this issue, it is necessary to base yourself on facts. There are not many facts yet, which is ironic coming from Russia. They need to be established in the course of investigative actions. They're all about this investigation. We need to know the investigation. Okay. Waiting for the test results. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. What I find interesting is what Russian state television is saying. If those of you who are not aware, Russian state television, of course, is ran by the government. You never go against what the government is saying. Russian state TV channels, Russia 24, and Russia's One largely stuck to describing the investigation to the plane crash that killed 10, with some only mentioning Prigozhin's name at the end of their reports. So it looks like everyone is on board with, we need to stick to the investigation. Like, was there a memo that went out that said, investigation, 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 do not talk about Prigozhin, do not talk about him? Russia's channels also focus on Thursdays on portraying Putin as calm and in control, with extensive coverage given over to Putin's participation. The closest Russian television seemed to get to addressing reports of the death of Prigozhin was during the television talk show 60 Minutes on Russia 1, which did not cover the plane crash, but rather the West's response to it. I mean, come on, guys. Everyone is in cahoots on what's going on. Are you serious? Olga Skabieva, one of Russia's most prominent presenters and propagandists, introduced a piece with a clip of breaking news headlines from the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, implying the West responding hysterically. So now they're saying, hysterically, huh? Yes, everyone is shocked. What do you think everyone would say? Olga? And I'm not hating. My family's Eastern European too. If anything, I probably have an aunt named Olga, but since we're Romanian, it's Ulga. Okay, check this out. If you're watching this right now, just so you guys know, I do have a second channel called The Supply Dude. I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I have my own second channel. If y'all want to check that out, I got a pinned link if you're live, and I'll leave a pinned comment. I do more military, U.S. military stuff and some historical stuff over there, so we're revamping that thing. If you want to head over, The Supply Dude, it's my second channel. I don't do live streams over there, though, just so you guys know. Okay. Now, this one right here is also interesting. The pro-Kiev Russian calls for Wagner fighters to avenge Prigozhin's march to Moscow. Now, of course, there's going to be some speculation. Potentially, Wagner will fall apart. Potentially not. Russians who fight for Ukraine have called on Wagner mercenaries to switch sides and join their ranks to avenge the reported plane crash. You are facing a serious choice now. And by the way, I will give my opinion. I don't think they're going to switch sides. I'm just saying that right now. And I'll tell you why. You are facing a serious choice now. You can stand in a stall of Russian Defense Ministry and serve as watchdogs for the executors of your common commanders, or take revenge. To take revenge, you need to switch to Ukraine's side. Let's end the bloody meat grinder. Okay. The main reason why I don't think these fighters will be switching sides is because a lot of these fighters are legitimate Russians with families. I am not trying to I'm not about to sit here and say Wagner, they're good guys at all. What they've done in Africa is absolutely disgusting. But I will say this, at the end of the day, these are hired for pay. They're just trying to do a job, do whatever they got to do, go home. Go to Africa, go to Syria, Venezuela. They're all over the world. And they're just trying to go home. At the end of the day, contractors, mercenaries, whatever you want to call them, there's no emotions in this. It's a business, and that's what they're just trying to do. I really don't think any of them could care less. Although Prigozhin was out there on Telegram. Yeah, somebody said 10 quid if they do fight for Ukraine. If Ukraine pays them, I'm sure they'll switch. Mali's paying them $200 million. Do you think they care? Not the way they've been acting out there. So, look, again, I don't think they'll switch. If they do, if you think they'll switch, leave a comment. Curious to see what you guys have to say. I don't think we'll be seeing any switch over here. If anything, it makes more sense for Wagner to dissolve. But even so, a lot of Wagner fighters have come out publicly and said, we have other leaders we're loyal to. So even though Prigozhin was the top dog, the machine doesn't stop here. Allegedly. Now this one is rather interesting to me. It's very telling when the leader of Belarus comes out and says, I told you to watch out. I've been on record by calling this guy the boyfriend of Russia because he does whatever they say. I am convinced the leader of Belarus is terrified of Russia. Now, there's a very intricate part here considering Belarus was the facilitator to end the Wagner revolt to Moscow, and I think there was a bit of a soft spot for Lukashenko, head of Belarus, and the leader of Wagner, former leader. As you can see here, President Putin initially vowed to crush Prigozhin's June mutiny, comparing it to the wartime turmoil. But as we know, Lukashenko said, you can come to Belarus in exile. Okay. Lukashenko said during the mutiny he had warned Prigozhin that he would die if he continued to march on Moscow. So again, Lukashenko is like, bro, you need to chill. You got to stop. It's not going to end for you. So there's always been constant warnings out here. Let me find this quote right here. Okay, right here. Lukashenko, both an old acquaintance of Prigozhin and the close ally of Russia, he doesn't have a choice, he has to be an ally of Russia, said that Putin had nothing to do with the plane crash. So Belarus is saying, look, Putin, nah, he didn't do it. Do you think Belarus would ever say what the heck Russia did? Heck no. I know Putin. He is calculating, very calm, even tardy. Notice how he's on the same page and the same script also as the Russian state media. Now again, a lot of this is speculation, but everyone seems to be on the same page. Obviously, they're all allies. They all work together. I cannot imagine that Putin did it, that Putin is to blame. It's just too rough and unprofessional of a job. And again, it goes into the Kremlin said on Friday that this is all a lie. The West is lying. Now, again, very telling. Lukashenko says Wagner fighters would remain in Belarus. However, that's not fully the truth, and we'll get into that here in a second. Wagner is living, and Wagner will live in Belarus, Lukashenko said. The core remains here. As long as we need this unit, they will live and work with us. The only issue is, before all this, Wagner fighters have actually been trying to leave, have been leaving Belarus. You are not as clever as you think, boy. Thank you for the $2 donation. Hundreds of Wagner men vanish. Okay. Interesting. Now, again, this has already been reported on. A lot of Wagner fighters are leaving due to the fact that I don't think a lot of them trusted President Putin or Russia. And now all of a sudden you're being told you need to go to Belarus. Like I had mentioned before, these guys are most of them are Russian citizens. So why would they want to be living in Belarus when they have families in Russia? So it didn't make sense for all of a sudden to send all of them to Belarus. The treaty was as followed. You either go to Belarus, you either join the Russian military, or you just get off the face of the earth. You don't have a lot of options here. So you just disappear. Okay? And we all saw what happened to Prigozhin. Who's to say that's not going to happen to the lowest guy on the totem pole? So, that's essentially what's happening. Do I think Wagner fighters will change over? No, I don't. I think there's a likely chance that they'll either dissolve or join some other PMCs. There's other really big PMCs out there who are operating in Africa. Wagner still does have contracts and still operating in Africa. They still are a unit. I don't know how strong they are. No one does. Don't believe them because we don't know the inner workings. No one's saying anything. One thing's for sure, though. Everyone is denying it. The West, even President Biden saying, most likely Putin. Russia saying, lies. Okay. Everybody, I'm going to be posting this live stream. If you're watching this live, make sure to comment on the posted video. It helps out a lot, and I respond to the comments, and it helps push the channel, and then we make more videos from that. I'm going to keep reporting on this, but it looks like this story is basically over unless we get an amazing revelation, but I doubt it. I think this saga is pretty much over. The head of Wagner is taken out. Russia says no. Everyone else says yes. Belarus says, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Much love, everybody. Thank you for being here, and we shall see you later. Make sure to subscribe to my second channel. Pinned link, pinned comment, The Supply Dude. Love you all.